Iceland. There's just something about this country that keeps me coming back. I don't know if it's the incredible nature, waterfalls, midnight sun, volcanoes, or maybe the weather. No, definitely not the weather. But what I do know is when Iceland is calling, I'm gonna answer it. Come and join me on this year's trip to Iceland because as always, it's going to be epic. Welcome from Iceland. For those that don't know me, my name is Pavel and I love traveling and exploring beautiful places all around the world. And Iceland is one of my all-time favorite countries as this is my 6th visit to this beautiful place. And yesterday, late last night, we flew in to Keflavik. Today in the morning, we picked up this car, modified Toyota Land Cruiser with a higher clearance, allowing us to explore different parts, even the Highlands of Iceland. We got some groceries and now we are on the Reykjanes Peninsula, and this is where our trip officially starts. So come along and join me on this beautiful 10-day long trip all around Iceland. Just a few days ago, authorities opened up the roads that are close to Grindavik, and from where it should be maybe possible to see the latest volcano eruption. So we are now trying to go as close as it's possible, and we just reached the end of the road. From here it's already closed, so we're gonna park here and see what we can see here. So now we are on the trail that leads to the original volcano sites, but from here I can already see directly the smoke from the current volcano. Well guys, this is something completely insane. You can see directly inside the crater full of lava. Well, I definitely didn't expect to be seeing this on day one here in Iceland. Just hope that the battery will last because as you can hear, it's already beeping, very low battery. After witnessing the volcanic eruption on Reykjanes Peninsula, it was time to head east towards Seljalandsfoss waterfall. On the way, as the sun was slowly going down, we explored a few small roads, enjoying beautiful views of the mountains and rivers around. know if you can believe it, but right now it's 11 p.m. and the sunset is still not here, and we are at probably one of the most iconic spots in all of Iceland. It's the beautiful waterfall called Seljalandsfoss, where you can walk under from behind of the waterfall, and in about 30-40 minutes there should be sunset, and you can get a really kind of this iconic photo from behind of the waterfall. So it's going to be a very, very nice end to day number 1 here in Iceland. Good morning! It's day 2 of our Icelandic adventure, and we're starting off with a kind of a secret waterfall. We're just about 1 kilometer from probably one of the most famous waterfalls in Iceland called Skogafoss, where there are like hundreds and hundreds of people. You have to walk about 10-15 minutes through this kind of canyon. At the nearby Skogafoss waterfall, starting around early June, there was a blooming field of lupins creating this iconic view. After the morning spent exploring waterfalls, it was time to head further. As it's now middle of June, many F-roads are still closed, but we are now on F206, which is fortunately open, and we should get to some kind of beautiful waterfall. It seems kind of strange that even though on the official website road.is it states that the road is open, here there are some signs that the road is closed, though we are trying our luck to if we can really reach the waterfall and at least experience the first F-road on this trip. We arrived to Foss, which is this beautiful waterfall at the end of F206 road. It's very, very windy, and I tried just a few moments ago to fly an FPV drone, but it was quite hard to manage it in the air. From Agrifos, we again got moving further east, exploring some of our favorite places along the south coast, like this huge black sand plain. We've been driving in the eastern direction for some time now, and we just stopped at this place where we've been already a few times. And it's crazy to think that 6 months ago, when it was winter, we managed to climb from here all the way to the top to that place where there are these rocks. I was just flying my drone around when I saw that my dad somehow managed to climb up this time as well. We continued driving all the way to a small town called Hofen, where we're staying tonight, stopping at a few beautiful glaciers along the way. We are now on a beach called Stocksnes, and right in front of me you can see Vestrahorn mountain range. And last time we were here it was in January, and I remember there were so incredibly strong winds that the black sand was non-stop bombarding us, and it wasn't even possible to take out the camera. So now it's much calmer than last time. After a while of flying around with the drone, for the first time ever, I got attacked by a group of birds. So without hesitation, I immediately retreated back. After foggy Vestrahorn, we made our way to an open F-road where at the beginning there was a sign warning about a huge river crossing. Only later I found out that it is one of the hardest river crossings in Iceland. Nevertheless, until that part, the road and the nature around was just breathtaking. A while ago we found some nice looking F-road here in eastern Iceland, and we were driving for maybe now 10 kilometers, and the road was supposed to lead 25 kilometers, but suddenly the road basically ends and there's this glacial river. And the thing is that even if we would supposedly cross the river on the other side, there is nothing. The road basically doesn't continue. We are going to head back and figure out if there is some other alternative road that leads there. We're on our way to a small town called Egilstadir, and now we are going through some kind of a mountainous pass, and there's a lot of snow and a lot of waterfalls, and it's really kind of foggy, mysterious place. Here in Iceland, it's really rare to have this kind of weather. Sunny, completely blue sky, And we're starting the day off now with a hike to the third tallest waterfall here in Iceland called Hengifoss. The hike is about 40 minutes long and we're almost there, and I can already see the waterfall. From Hengifoss, our plan was to reach the northernmost part of Iceland. On the way, we had to drive over a mountain range that was still covered in snow, and the views from there on the surrounding sea were absolutely stunning. We are now in the northernmost part of Iceland, and right now it's 11 minutes past midnight. And even though we are right under the Arctic Circle, the sun is up, and actually the sunset will be in 15 days on 3rd of July. So we are now driving here and the light is just incredible. So in 15 days there will be finally sunset. Until then, midnight sun it is. We have now arrived to a small town of Raufarhöfn, which is actually the northernmost settlement in whole of Iceland, and it's at the complete northern tip, and just 10 kilometers further north there's the northernmost point of whole mainland Iceland, and there's basically just one straight road going through the whole town, and it's pretty calm. Let's head to the northernmost point of Iceland. Just until recently, it was thought that the northernmost point of Iceland is a few kilometers there at one kind of a lighthouse, but recently it has been found out that there is another point which is 68 meters further north, and it's called the Reef. But the thing is that the road that leads there seems like it's basically no road at all, and we're gonna try if it's possible to head there. The rest of the way we've decided to walk on foot. And after more than 2 kilometers of walking, we have finally made it. We are in the northernmost tip of the whole mainland Iceland. Well, even after 6 visits to Iceland already, there's still something new to see every single time. From this point, we could of course go only south. Our place for tonight was close to a beautiful Asbyrgi valley, and before midnight, we also visited the monumental Dettifoss waterfall. This behind me is the most powerful waterfall in all of Europe. We arrived to Dettifoss. It's 44 meters tall and 100 meters in diameter, and it's really incredible waterfall that is incredibly powerful, and the water is just spraying even to here. As you can see, I'm completely wet just by being here for a few minutes, and like I definitely wouldn't want to fall down into that waterfall. After 2 days of a strange sunny weather, the typical Icelandic conditions are back. The day started with a bit of a rain, and it's now raining quite a lot, and we are now heading really to the center of Iceland, to Icelandic Highlands. It's going to be quite a drive here from the North Iceland, so we should be there in about 3 or 4 hours, and hopefully by then the rain will stop. Welcome to Kerlingarfjall. This place is one of the most fascinating places in all of Iceland, located right in the middle of the country in Icelandic Highlands. This place is one giant volcanic system full of geothermal activity. As you can see behind me, there are tens and tens of different smokes coming out everywhere, tens of boiling waters and sulfuric acids, and it's really one of the few places in the world where you can feel like you're on a different planet. It reminds me of what it would look like on Venus or Mars, and even though it's my third time already here, it still feels just as surreal as the first time. So let's go and explore this incredible place. Because it rained for pretty much the whole day, the place looks basically like this. The whole ground full of the sulfuric acid is one giant muddy thing, and my shoes already look like this, and it's gonna get only worse. After Kerlingarfjall, we moved to a different part of the Highlands where we haven't been before, and we'll spend our last days of the trip here. But on our way, we quickly stopped at one of my favorite waterfalls. We just got to another waterfall. This one is called Highfoss. High like high and foss like waterfall, so literally a high waterfall. And this one is one of the tallest in Iceland. And funny enough, 4 years ago I was standing right at this place. I was doing the same video as now, and I was talking that back then, 4 years ago, again I was standing here. So basically 4 years ago and 8 years ago I was here right at the same waterfall, and now we're back here, and this is definitely one of my all-time favorite waterfalls here in Iceland. Welcome to the Highlands of Iceland. It's an uninhabited area covering big part of the country. Here you can find the most surreal landscapes you can imagine. For me, highlands are really the most fascinating part of Iceland. I won't do much more talking now because I think the nature here speaks for itself. Well, to continue further, we have to cross this river. And that's the thing with all the river crossings, that you basically have no idea how the river is deep if you can go through, and it's basically just a matter of trial and error. But if there's an error and you're actually stuck inside in the middle of river, then somebody has to come and rescue, and it can get all the way to rescue to thousands of dollars. So we have just to try it ourselves and wish us luck. And there is one important rule when crossing all the rivers, and that is to go really slow. It's advised to go about 5 kilometers per hour, but it's kind of against your instinct because naturally you want to get out of the river as quick as possible, so you want to drive as fast as possible, but that's definitely not good. You can get caught up in the river. We are probably going to do that, and hopefully we will see each other on the other side. Well, this was already quite a river, quite deep, but fortunately we managed to go through. But yeah, it's all about this uncertainty that you really have no idea what the river is gonna be like. So managed to do it this time, and hopefully we'll have the same luck on different rivers as well. On a satellite map, I just found this incredibly looking lake that is inside kind of a volcano crater and in the middle of this black sand desert, and it looks absolutely surreal. So we're now walking to the edge of the crater, and let's see if it looks as incredible as on the satellite images. These moments are what it's worth living for. And just like that, our time not only in the Highlands but also in Iceland has slowly come to an end. What a beautiful trip it was. From watching the midnight sun at Seljalandsfoss to witnessing the volcano eruption, seeing tens of stunning waterfalls, crossing rivers, landing on a different planet at Kerlingarfjall, and finishing off in the Highlands. Once again, Iceland didn't disappoint. I hope you enjoyed this trip with me as much as I did, and that I inspired you to go out and explore this beautiful world we have. Goodbye, Iceland, and I hope to see you again soon.